So done. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Making of a Dental Startup. I'm your co-host, Ashley Hovez. And before we get started, I wanted to say thank you to everyone for listening. You guys are truly amazing, and we've created such a warm and welcoming community. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, our private Facebook group. And if you are interested in being on the show, you can email themakingofadental@gmail.com. And all of our socials will be listed in the show notes. Well, I am super excited because today is the first day that we are officially back. Like, I took a very long hiatus. If you listen to our last episode, and if you even listen to the Little Black Dress podcast, you know that I have been dealing with health issues with my husband, Brian. And also, I opened our second startup. So life has been crazy with the kids and the health scare. But enough about me. I'm really excited to introduce our next startup journey. It's going to be awesome, guys. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Toni Torres to our show. Toni, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so
Well,
much for having me.
well, it's so fun to see your face, and I'll share all the history that we have together. And I'm really excited to highlight you, your story, and the making of
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do it again. I wasn't ready for that.
you know that's not getting edited out. Okay. And the making of
Bloom Dental Co.
Bloom Dental Co. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you don't already know who Dr. Toni Torres is, Toni, what oh wait, no. See, Colin's gonna kill me. I'm not following her format. Okay, we're gonna break the ice. We're gonna break the ice. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit rusty, a lot bit rusty. We like to kickstart our guests with a quick fire just to just to make them feel comfortable. So we're gonna play this or that. So I'm gonna give you two options, and whatever you like feel more inclined to choosing, that's what you're gonna shout out. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So this or that. Instagram or TikTok.
Instagram.
Heels or flats.
Flats.
Pool or beach.
Beach.
Taylor Swift or Sabrina Carpenter.
Ooh, Taylor Swift.
Okay, awesome. I will also choose Instagram. I love flats. I love looking at the beach, but I like swimming in a pool. I don't like sand.
Yeah, yeah, the sand is messy. I get that.
And I also choose Taylor Swift. We're like twins.
Almost.
Like,
It's just that sand.
it's just, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of Bloom Dental Co., give us your short bio. Tell us a little bit about yourself outside of being a dentist, family, hobbies, where you live.
Okay, so yeah, I am opening in Henderson, Nevada. That's where I grew up. I've been here since I was 5 years old. It's a really, really great suburb of Las Vegas. And hobbies, I mean, what are those? I don't even know anymore. I don't really have a lot of hobbies outside of, teeth and family. But I truly just love spending time with my little family. I have two girls. They are 2 and 4 years old. And my husband and I, we just love, going out and doing things on the weekend with them. They're both in sports and just keeping busy with that.
And
Yeah.
how long have you and your hubby been together?
We've been together for 15 years. I started
Nice.
dating him when I was 18. I
Oh,
made the poor guy wait until I finished dental school and became a dentist to get married. And he's a patient man. He waited all through undergrad, all through dental school. He supported me. And I graduated in 2018 and we got married in 2019. Been married for 6 years.
oh my gosh. How did you guys meet?
We both played volleyball at our high school. And so the story goes, all my high school best friends know that to me, he was number three because I didn't know his name for about a year, but I had a crush on him in high school. And he knew about it. He was just an older, cooler guy. So we didn't get together until my freshman year at college. And he
Nice.
approached me, and it was it.
Amazing. Wait, so you guys went to the same high school and college?
We did. Yeah.
Where did
Yeah.
you
We
go
both
for
grew up
undergrad?
here. UNLV.
UNLV. Okay, and then what is your hubby's name?
Sorry.
Oh, what's your husband's name?
Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, and he is not a dentist, correct?
No, he is the other kind of nerd. He's a software engineer.
Nice. Very cool. Okay, so now that we know a little bit about you, can you tell us like I want to know about your dental history. Like, do you have any dentists in the background and why dentistry?
So, no, I don't have any dentists in the family. I'm actually a first generation college student. And I don't really know. It's the path I started on when I was maybe 13 or 14. I actually wanted to become an orthodontist. I had braces, got them off when I was about 14 and felt pretty for the first time in my life. And that was huge as a teenage girl. And I just set my mind to the fact that I was going to be an orthodontist and then went through every step I had to do to get to ortho school. Took my first ortho classes in dental school and absolutely hated it. It was
Hated
so
it.
much math and angles and ugh. But I fell in love with general dentistry at, in school, delivering your first denture and seeing your patient's face when they can smile again and doing cosmetic crowns. I fell in love with the dexterity piece of dentistry.
Nice. I also thought I was wanting to do ortho when I went
Really?
in. I loved,
Yeah.
so I had braces for 7 years. I
Holy
was like,
mackerel.
yeah, no, like I was a hot mess, but mostly, well, I still am in other areas of my life. But I had braces for so long. And the reason why it was so long was because my mom was an ortho assistant. And whatever dental office, whatever ortho office she was working at, that doctor became my orthodontist.
Oh,
So,
so was
which
all
is
this
like,
turnover?
it's like so ridiculous. I remember I legit, she would take home pliers and she would remove my rubber bands at our kitchen table and have me lean back in the chair and she would shine a light on me. I'm like, Mom, this is pretty ratchet. Like this is pretty awful. And then finally I found an orthodontist that she was not working with and he basically took off all my brackets and we started over. And that was after year 5 of having braces.
I think
So
that's where you get your scrappiness from, your mom. Yeah, she
I
sounds like a
think
scrappy one.
she's pretty insane. And that's definitely where I get my insanity from. Yeah.
Okay, and then you just didn't like ortho, same thing. And I think
Oh
there's
yeah.
something to the fact that most orthodontists are dudes because it's like very logical, math forward brained,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hated the ortho classes in dental school. I'm
same.
like, oh my gosh, I don't care about torque. I just
Yeah,
never mind. Never mind.
we can
Oh
make
my
teeth pretty
gosh.
in other ways.
Yes, absolutely. That is so true. Okay, so I think how we first got connected.
Mhm.
I know that you've been listening to the podcast, but I never knew, like, we never knew each other until we met in person at our retreat in Vail at the Four Seasons. And I remember um, our welcome was at that
The
rabbit place,
the
chasing
rabbit hole chasing rabbit.
chasing rabbits, which was a
Mhm.
really cool spot.
That was really
And
cool.
it was really cool. And you came up and you introduced yourself. And I just want to take some time and have hear your thoughts about the retreat in general, Toni. What did you think of of your first The Making of retreat.
So, can I tell the story of how I got to the retreat first?
I would love for
Because
you to hear this or to
because
tell the
that was a
story.
wild ride. So, yes, I've listened to the podcast for years and I was kind of like a fangirl. Okay. And I was going through the process of speaking with loan providers for my practice last summer, a whole year ago. And I was talking to Bank of America and I did something completely, sometimes I'm just so unprofessional and I don't even realize I'm being unprofessional. But I was talking to the rep from Bank of America, and I think he sent me a commercial that they were going to air for the Super Bowl for you. You were on the commercial for like them sponsoring small business, local
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
And I replied to this email and said, "Oh my God, I love Ashley Hovez. I love her
Oh,
podcast." And I just fangirled and pushed send without any filter and was kind of like, I probably shouldn't have
oh,
done that. I didn't even say anything about his beautiful commercial. And he didn't respond for a couple of days. So I was sweating
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this guy thinks I'm just a fool. And then he responded and was so sweet and said, that's awesome. We are sponsors for the retreat and we have a free ticket if you want to go. And
Oh
yeah,
my
I was
gosh.
blown away because that was just something I couldn't afford at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
and never even considered going because I wasn't an owner yet. I didn't have anything. I didn't think I had anything to contribute. Um, but what a gift. That was
Mm,
amazing. I immediately, even though I probably didn't really have the extra budget, I immediately booked a hotel, a flight, and went up to Vail to meet all of you guys. And yeah, I remember seeing you, meeting you in Chasing Rabbit. And I was so nervous to go up to you, but you and Colin were such great hosts and so easy to talk to and bubbly right away. And I just felt like, okay, like these are my people. But inside, I kind of felt like I was talking to a celebrity, which is,
oh,
weird.
stop.
Um,
Stop.
a dental celebrity. But yeah, the retreat was absolutely amazing. I've never been to any type of dental gathering or conference or anything where you get that much connection and community. I was blown away. So I made a ton of friends, met every single person. What retreat can you honestly say that you met every single person by name and talked to
Mm,
everyone and met all of the speakers and had one-on-one time with these amazing business people and mentors to just pick their brain and talk to them. And the fact that I got to do all of this before I was even signing a lease or getting a space was
mhm.
so valuable. I have now a complete platform of people I can reach out to. One, if I'm stressed or like just losing
Mhm.
my cool. And two, if I have questions or, we have our group chat now, we can get on and say, hey, what'd you guys use for this? Or how does this machine work? Or who uses this brand? And it's been so valuable, let alone it was a freaking blast. I mean, the food was amazing, the speakers were phenomenal, and our last night was so much fun. Talk about releasing some steam. We were dancing all night. That was such a good
Oh,
time.
it was well, I'm so happy one to meet you in person and thank you so much for sharing that. Like it's hard to describe what the retreat means to us. Like I always had a vision of it almost feeling like summer camp. Like you go
Mm.
and even if you don't know anybody, like you'll leave feeling like you have like 100 new best friends. Um, would you say that you left feeling that way? Like you made a lot of great
Absolutely. That's
connections?
exactly what it felt like. The only thing I can compare it to is when I was in undergrad, I was part of this women's leadership retreat, where you all go and you stay in the dorms together for like 5 days and you all cry together and,
Yes.
open up your
Yeah.
hearts and
Yeah.
you go home having 5, 6, 7 new best friends for life. That's what it felt like. This was a
Oh,
literal retreat, summer camp connections forever. We haven't, it's been over a year now,
yeah.
and I easily, at least once a week, once a month, have talked to 10 of you guys
That's so
still.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Well, stay tuned because we are in the process of planning 2026.
Oh my gosh, where are
So
we going?
that is to be determined, but we have a lot of places up our sleeve, and I think what's most important, we took a year hiatus to really focus on like the two practices, and I'm so grateful because I couldn't if so Toni, like given Brian's health stuff, if we had retreat around the same time, it would have been like a complete disaster. So I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. So like we took this break and it was definitely needed, but the
You needed it. You
community,
had to be with
yeah,
family.
we had to be with
Good.
family. I literally took 6 weeks off of the practice. But enough about me, because this is all about you and Bloom Dental Co. And I think that you are doing such amazing things with social media. You are hilarious. You are putting yourself out there. I need to know like what made you step into this world.
So I don't really have it all figured out, just what I'm doing with it or what it means. But part of the inspiration actually came from the retreat. Like I said, I felt like the new kid on the block at the retreat because I'm not an owner yet. I'm surrounded by all these people who are steps ahead of me, not necessarily somewhere I won't get to, but I just was in a room, felt like everyone was doing more than me. And that's a good situation to put yourself in to experience growth and push yourself and challenge yourself. And I had this kind of introspection that a lot of you guys are intimidating voice trained doctors and all into your beautiful cosmetic cases and your photography. And that's just never been me and my style. And a lot of the doctors that I met at the retreat had this beautiful Instagram presence, very modern and bold and highlighting their beautiful cases. And so I left the retreat thinking, like, okay, so if I'm going to do this startup, I think the way of the world, how everything is going, is that a lot of people reference social media for their recommendations on things. They go to Google or they go to Instagram or TikTok just to see who the authorities are in that profession and get advice. And I really had a moment where I was thinking, what motivates me? What would my personal brand be that I would want people to feel when they see my account and they see my business? And something that's always been my driving force is the educational piece for patients is what I love the most. When I sit down, a new patient exam is one of my favorite appointments. I love that like click in someone's mind where they decide they trust you and they're going to listen to what you're saying, and you all of us dentists see that switch where that all comes down and they start uncrossing their arms and listening and nodding. And really I decided I wanted to create an online presence to make dentists seem more approachable. I always thought that was something you did really great on your videos. Is just we're humans and people have so much anxiety about coming to see us or thinking we're going to be judgmental. So I knew I wanted to have a feel that it was approachable and a safe space for people to not only get educational content, because whether someone's my patient or not, I want them to be able to learn. It should be just public information, all of these tips and advice and guidance we have, but also a safe space for them to ask questions. Of course, I can't give like clinical advice over DMs or anything, but if someone wants, a toothpaste recommendation for their 3-year old, or I love being able to help people that way. And a really fun side effect of all of this is that I've gotten so many people reaching out locally, wanting to come. When's your office opening? Are you hiring hygienists? Do you need this? And so I'm excited to continue doing it for the organic growth and hopefully attracting people that fit the culture I'm portraying at the office. But it's kind of just like snowballed into its own thing. I don't know. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's educational, sometimes it's I'm trying to show other docs what I'm doing in the startup process,
Yeah.
because I really want to advocate for more private practices opening and show people that they can do it.
I think I think what you're doing is amazing. And one, I mean, let's just talk about the virality that you've had. I think Toni is incredibly humble, and not even mentioning that like a few of your reels, Toni, I think the last one that I saw was maybe not the last one, but your most popular one hit 25 million views.
Yeah, it's
Is this
crazy.
it's freaking
And that's
crazy. It's
and
you literally licking your teeth like
I don't
how
know. I
I
don't
was
really know
like,
the
what?
motivation behind why that went viral. I want to have my brain out of the gutter. I get how the world works, right? I'm licking my teeth. But it was an educational post, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of educational questions and comments on it,
Yeah.
so I'm very proud of it. But yeah, it's just silly common sense things. It's wild what goes viral on social media.
It
I
really
don't even
is.
understand it, but sometimes I can plan something for weeks and look up research and do all this work, and people, they don't care. They
They
don't
do.
care about the research. They don't care about how well you edited it.
Yeah.
It's just usually it's the stuff that I think like, oh, it's the most common sense things, but
Yeah.
life hacks
Yeah.
that you put on there that people, it just like something clicks in their brain and they like it, and then it whatever the algorithm shows the next person, and it kind of just spirals. It's crazy.
It really is crazy. I want to know your your posting schedule. How many
Mm.
hours a week are you really like focused on? Like, are you batching
Um,
your videos? Like, give me all the tea. Uh-oh, I think
okay,
I
I didn't
lost
hear the
you.
last part of that. So
Oh,
how
sorry.
often
Let
and
me
what am I doing?
so
There, there.
how many hours a week or a day are you devoting
Hmm.
to content creation? And then what is
Okay,
your process? Like, are you batching your recordings?
I
What
see.
apps are you using? Give us some tactical information.
Okay, so it's absolutely nothing fancy. It's kind of whatever I have time for. I for probably up until like last month, my goal was to post Monday through Friday,
Okay.
a reel. And then I've kind of slowed that down just as my time is getting split. I'm working part-time still at my associateship, and I'm working part-time building Bloom. And so I do try whenever I'm at my associateship, I try to film, and that's on Tuesday, Thursdays. I try to film at least two videos, even if it's just like B-roll content that if I get an idea later, I can throw it over. Just me drilling on someone or me turning the lights off. So I have content of me in scrubs and a coat. And then the other half of the time, sometimes I do them here at the house. But right now, I'm trying to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then do stories in between on Tuesdays, Thursdays. But it's
Gotcha.
really not, it's not that, that equation's not perfectly, fitting. It's just kind of when I have cool content. I get a lot of my ideas while I'm driving.
Mm,
So I'll just do a voice memo, or I'll hear a song that makes me think like I could do something with the lyrics of this song, and then I'll voice record it for a later idea. And I just have like an ever going note in my phone of different content ideas. But it is not all me. Um, oh, you asked about, I just use the Instagram Edits app. I've never downloaded anything other than that and just played around with it a lot. But it is not all me. I do all the posts, but my dental assistant, he's worked with me. He was literally day one of me graduating dental school, first day of being a dentist. He was my first dental assistant, and he's been my dude since day one. And he's followed me to every
oh,
office.
no
And
way.
yeah, his name's Joseph. He's amazing. He's coming with me to Bloom, and so he'll help me be my clinical lead in the back. But he has been tremendous. So my biggest, I guess, takeaway for someone who's trying to get into doing social media, it's going to feel so cringe at first. No one likes to record themselves or see their face and talk and then hear their voice. And you have this sense of imposter syndrome where it's no one cares to hear from a dentist. Why do they want to hear me or see me licking my teeth? That's the weirdest thing ever. But if you can find yourself a person that's your biggest cheerleader, you know, specifically at work, he has been phenomenal at just not making me feel silly. He'll just Doc, do it. And he'll even be recording me and he'll be like, oh, you won't like that one, your hair, fix your hair, and he'll like delete it. Or, or he just he's so supportive. He pushes me. Where he's also doing his own TikTok journey now, and he's
Nice.
blowing up. He's so hilarious. So everyone go follow him. It's Mr. Joseph Fabella. Yeah, he's so funny. Um, and just a huge support. So I do have a really good support system, or if I'm just not feeling it, because you're not going to feel it every day. Sometimes I'm just
Right.
like, ugh, or I don't look
Yeah.
cute, and
Yeah.
he's like, well, here, brush your teeth and I'll take a video. So
That's
it's
awesome.
a good duo. He's kind of my Colin.
Oh, I love that. Everybody needs a version of Colin in their life for sure.
Yeah.
And I okay, so you mentioned you're still working part-time as an
Hmm.
associate. So walk me through, like, does your owner dentist know that you're building your startup, and how far away is your current practice from Bloom Dental Co?
Got it. So, yes. So my employers, they've been super supportive. I worked at a DSO straight out of school for about 4 years, and almost went the purchasing route with this DSO, but it just wasn't for me. I wasn't happy. And that lined up when I had my first daughter, and DSOs, you work crazy hours. So around 3 years ago, I started working for this private practice,
Okay.
and I'm running their second location. They have two locations. And ever since my interview, I was very open with the fact that I wanted to be a practice owner. Um, and my employers have their own journey. They did a startup and they have their own story of how they got fired, when their boss found out or let them go. And so they've been super supportive through the whole process. They were the ones that actually pushed me to have my first meeting with Patterson and start talking with, about equipment and how it looks to do a startup. So they've known throughout the whole process. And so they've been really great with working out the timing with me. So just maybe about a month ago, I went down to 2 days a week. I was working 4 days a week with them for the past few years. And now I am working with them on Tuesdays, Thursdays. And I'm working on Bloom on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Now, what was, I guess, the inspiration for doing a startup versus purchasing an existing practice?
So I've never truly felt like it was an option for me to go the acquisition route. But I mean, when you're doing this, I've listened to all the podcasts, since dental school, and I think I had a pretty good understanding of both routes. But it was nice because my employer did both. So she had built a startup practice, and then she acquired a second practice that I was working at. And oh, I'm sorry, you also asked me the distance.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So my where I'm practicing is about 13 miles away from where
Okay,
I'm opening. Yeah. So no issue with the non-compete. I'm a little closer to their secondary location, but I've never practiced there.
gotcha.
So I've never seen the patients there. Um, but yeah, so going back, what was I talking about before I
Oh,
my brain went that route?
acquisition versus a startup.
Okay, so they were, just a great resource to talk about because they had experienced both, and they spent about the same amount of money on both.
Mhm.
But the reason why I never really wanted to do the acquisition route is I'm just a very picky person when it comes to how people feel and how people are treated and the environment around you. And the idea of inheriting someone else's culture and environment just felt complicated to me. So I never really considered the idea of an acquisition, just because personally I feel that if someone is at the point of selling their practice, more often than not, the last few years is different than the passion they had for their space and their people when they first started, right? And so I just wanted things done my way. I wanted the office to be my style and beautiful. So patients really felt my love in every single detail of the space. And then I didn't want to have to deal with inheriting people
Sure.
because culture is very specific and I wanted to be able to build my team.
Hmm.
But
I love
it
that.
is the scariest thing for me is just opening without patients.
Mm.
That's the only downside in my opinion. I mean, yes, construction hasn't been super fun, but it's also been exciting, and I've liked having to make every selection, and everything is my standard.
And where did you get Bloom Dental Co. from?
Like the name.
Hmm.
So I wrote this down because I knew you were going to ask, and I wanted it to sound good. So, because I don't really know, it's like my brain, I had this list of all these different names, and there was just something about the phonetics of it that I really liked, just how the
Hmm.
word sounds itself. But really, when you get down to it, I saw a definition, like on a Pinterest post or Etsy or something. I saw a definition of the word bloom once, and I saved it in my phone. And one night I just saw it and it clicked in my mind. But this version of the definition, it just explained it. Blooming is coming into your fullest version of beauty and health.
Hmm.
So in my mind, I want the brand of my practice to represent not perfection, right?
Hmm.
Nobody is aiming for perfection. We're all just aiming for growth and health. And that's different for every individual. So in my eyes, a flower blooming is going to be different across the board. Every flower is going to have a different bloom, but it's still getting to its healthiest and fullest potential.
I
And
love
that's
it.
kind of the feeling I have for my practice.
I love your, well, one, I love your definition, and I love the name. I think it flows and it's so feminine, which I mean, okay, sorry to the fellas listening, but a lot of anxiety is like there's a lot of anxiety when patients are choosing a dental office. And for
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a male associate now, but for a long time, a lot of the patients came to us because we were an all female team.
Mm-hmm.
And I
There's
don't want to be
something
biased.
nurturing about it, right? I
Yes,
think it's just
yes,
biological.
I
You
think
know,
so.
dads are
Uh,
great. Men are great caregivers as
Men
well.
are
But
amazing.
that's always how I felt. I've always wanted a female healthcare provider just because to me, it just felt more nurturing. And so, yes, everything about my office is pretty delicate and feminine, from my logo to the design of my practice to the color scheme and fonts and everything. So I'm having a harder time, like, kind of like butching it up. Like, I don't want men to walk in the doors and feel like, oh my gosh, this is so girly. So I'm really focusing just on the elegance of it, um, and kind of just the natural shapes that you can find
Yeah.
anywhere in the world. Um, and yeah, I know, because I can't go too girly. But at the end of the day, it's fine. We all know it's the moms that schedule these appointments.
Absolutely.
Dads just show up where they are
They
told to
really
go.
do. Who is helping you with logo and branding, or who helped?
Oh, that's also thanks to you, because I met Studio 88 at the
Amazing.
retreat and instantly fell in love because I love your aesthetic. That was one of the things that initially drew me to the podcast and just your socials and everything. And everything they do is just so beautiful. So Studio 88 that helped get my branding all done. I did my branding with them. And I had a few great referrals from some of the docs at your retreat. And then
Amazing.
I loved it so much, I signed up for the website and
Nice.
everything. And it just
Yay.
launched 2 weeks ago, and it's absolutely
It's
stunning.
already live.
It's stunning. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
Like I
Bloom
told you, I'm
Dental
a
Co.
very bloomdentalcompany.com.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
but they do
it.
amazing work. I've had a really great experience just with my project manager and everyone helping me. Uh, it's nice because my husband knows all this stuff because he's a software
Yeah.
engineer. So all the
Mhm.
technical stuff, he could just be like, I'm sure sometimes they're like, how does she know that word? It's all because my husband.
Nice.
But as far as the design side and their designers, they're phenomenal. Very pretty work.
They are amazing. I've worked with Studio 88 since day one, and I will never, ever, ever leave them. I just love the
So I'm
Scotts and their
excited.
whole
They'll be out
team.
and I'll schedule probably maybe in a month or so our first photo shoot with them.
Yay. Well,
Mhm.
okay. So besides the logo and design and branding, let's talk logistics. So
Okay.
where is your startup? Is it in a retail like strip mall? Is it yeah, give us information about square footage and how you came upon the location.
Okay. So the first thing I'll bring up is that it is 2 miles away from my front door, which
Stop it. Two
I'm
miles.
mostly, yes, it takes me like 3 minutes to drive there.
I love
And
it.
I'm super excited about that because I've always Henderson's not like a small town feel, but I've always wanted to feel like I'm taking care of all of my neighbors. And we live in a planned community here. And so
Mhm.
we're all very communal. We have big fall festivals and kids' fairs and things all here within our park system. And so I've been able to be a sponsor in my community events and have booths and tell everyone I'm coming. Um, yeah, so I love the location from that point of view. And I ended up, and it actually just all ended up being luck. I've lived in my house here for over 10 years. We
Okay.
bought this house like straight out of college. And it just happens to be this hot pocket of an area that when I did my demographics report is like really, really needing a dentist. So that my numbers here were amazing. And
What
it
are
just
your
happened.
demographics? Sorry.
So the valley as a whole, so the greater Las Vegas and Henderson area, the norm is about 1,500 to 2,000 residents per dentist or
Okay.
per dental office. And in my little bubble, my little 3 mile radius or however they do it, it's 6,500 residents to a dental office. Yes.
Okay. And then who did you
Yes.
use to run that report?
I used Dentographics and it was super easy. You just get assigned someone for your project and they make you this great document and it highlights all this important stuff and you tell them kind of the type of patient you're trying to attract and they can run all this data for you and then they give you this kind of weather map with all of these big bubbles all over it to let you know the hot spots in your area
Okay.
and this whole southern part of Henderson where I'm at, it was just glowing, needing dentists. And the interesting thing is the I never considered the space that I'm actually leasing. I never considered because I live right around the corner. I saw when this space came available and it just wasn't sexy to me because I'm on this street called Raiders Way, which is actually pretty cool. I'm a quarter mile away from the Raiders practice stadium. They built their practice stadium out here in our city
Nice.
since
Nice.
the main stadium's in Vegas. So I'm right on Raiders Way, but the rest of all of the businesses on this road are giant warehouses like Amazon, FedEx
Wow.
warehouse. So it's kind of like a concrete jungle, but it's
Okay.
this main road that goes up into this huge planned community. So
Nice.
it's all these cars have to drive by. So the only reason I considered my space is because the year before I signed my lease, a really well-known pediatrician moved into the unit next door to me. At the time, it wasn't mine, but it was the pediatrician I have already taken my girls to for years. And I was like, okay, so this space is actually medical now
Hmm.
because it was in the same little parking lot as a 7-Eleven. So you asked, it's not commercial. I'm in a parking lot with a 7-Eleven, and then I'm part of a 3 unit business track, and it's a pediatrician. I'm sandwiched in between, and then a Sherman Williams. But really good street visibility on that busy street. Like I said, 2 miles away from this giant planned community, and really close to the freeway.
Nice. And then how big is the actual office?
2150, so
Perfect.
2,100 square feet.
2150. And how many operatories are you building?
So we built out 6 ops,
Okay.
and I have equipped 3 of those ops to start out with.
Okay. And then who helped you with the design of your floor
So
plan?
I met Lean Dental Design. The owner's name is Chris Raba. I met him at a Scott Luna event, and I really liked their clean aesthetic and some of the
Okay.
other offices that they had planned. And he's been amazing. He actually, before I hopped on with you, I he's from San Antonio, but he flew out for my site visit today. So I was at the office all morning, and I told him I was so nervous and driving home to hop on a call with you.
Oh,
He's like, "You'll be great. That's fine." I was like, I'll shout out Lee. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." But yeah, he's phenomenal. His team was great. They've been a really good advocate for me, with my contractors and making sure everything's done correctly. And it's been a really good process.
do you mind sharing how much that cost to work with them? Or is that
Yeah, you might have to, don't quote me on it, but I believe that the end number was 45,000.
45,000 for them to complete all the structural engineering, mechanical design?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And how involved were you in the layout? Like, do they give you iterations and then you approve and move
Pretty
forward, or how
much.
does that
Yeah.
work?
So they knew I wanted to use pretty much I did the startup mastery course with
Okay.
Scott Luna. And
Awesome.
so they knew the basic concepts because he partners and he goes to all the seminars. So he knows kind of the Scott Luna method for the layout and lobby area and everything, as far as the flow of your office. So he's already really well versed in pretty much the teachings that I was wanting to
Yeah.
follow. And yeah, they kind of did like a mock-up first iteration, and then I went through and slashed a bunch of it or changed it, and they were so quick, to his team to incorporate everything and be exciting. But of course, I've never done this before, so I'm asking for all these grand things, and
Of
they're like,
course.
"Yeah, we love this. Add glass, add this." Me not knowing, this is like a super high-end luxury practice. They're just like, they're my it team, like, we got you,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
perfect. um and so of course there's different iterations of that because I'm like, oh
Yeah.
crap, I have to cut that out because that's like 15 grand to put a
Yeah.
glass wall. Or like, okay guys, you could have told me this. But that through the whole process, because sometimes I'm such a people pleaser, so that's
Yeah.
so hard for me to be like, you guys did beautiful work on this, but can we cut everything out and try again? And I never heard grief from them. They were always like, it's just part of the process, we'll
Yeah.
fix it, we'll do this. Even up until like a couple months ago, they were still helping me, make changes to the renderings or finishes. And um, yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of people that you have to tie in on this
Yeah.
project. It's wild.
It is, I mean, it takes a village. Do you have any of, because I want to give as much of like your, if you could share with me any schematics or floor plan, just so that we can put it on the
Yeah,
website too. I think
yeah,
it's, I love this stuff. I think it's so
yeah.
interesting, seeing the different floor plans and layouts, and because this is why building a startup is so exciting. You get to be a part of creation, and
Hmm.
I'm really excited to see. your
Yeah.
dream come to life, Toni. It's gonna be awesome. I want to ask what what equipment did you end up choosing for your operatories?
For operatories, you mean like chairs?
Chairs, yes.
Chairs. Okay, so cabinets are a big thing, right?
Yes,
Before talking
yes.
about equipment,
Yes.
cabinets are a huge thing. So I went with a subcontractor for all my cabinetry.
Awesome.
And it's so stressful. You don't know it until you're doing it. And the thing that I have learned most through this process is to trust my own ability to just figure stuff out
Mm,
because when you're doing this, it's mostly scary because you don't know the answer to anything. You're going to have contractors coming to you, your architect, your everyone just needing an answer. And it was actually Scott Luna at the retreat, your retreat, who told me his biggest advice is to just be decisive. Don't hold up your project because you're not making a final decision. So he said, really, you're not going to blow anything up. Just make a decision and then figure it out after you say yes or no. And I've been trying to follow that guideline. And I've learned to trust that if I say, okay, put it there, or, put the data drop there, or put the fire extinguisher there, or they ask me something I know nothing about, I know by the next day I'll have it figured out. I trust my research capabilities or the people I can reach out to. So I've learned to not spiral as much. So one of the big decisions is cabinetry because that's such a huge
yeah.
chunk of that construction budget. And so I didn't know to go, with one of the national companies that has, the
Hmm.
pre-made cabinets that can bring them in that might be manufactured a lot more quickly, or to go with custom cabinets. And I ended up going with custom cabinets, and they're turning out beautiful, but it's a longer process.
Sure.
So I have custom cabinetry throughout from one of my subcontractors, and the chairs I went with ADS. I had never heard of them, but I'm using DHP for my large equipment. Um,
What's DHP? Is
Dental
that the
Health
name of the
Partners. Mm-hmm.
Dental Health Partners? And then how did you hear about Dental
through
House
through
Partners?
through Scott Luna and Lean.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my architect works with DHP a lot.
Okay.
Um, and actually one of the retreat attendees, Kyle, who I met at the retreat, he opened his practice maybe 4 months ago, and I still talk to him every week.
Awesome.
And he went with DHP and had a really good experience because it I was a little nervous because it's all remote, right? I'm not using one of my local reps from Patterson or anything.
Right, right.
I'm using someone who's based out of Illinois. So it was a little bit different of a process, but it was seamless for me.
Do you remember about how much like you spent on the
But
cabinetry and the chairs?
yes, so I think my budget was 30,000 for cabinets. That's what I had budgeted out. And I was planning to only add cabinets to my three operatories and then the rest of the office.
Okay.
And I got all of my cabinetry, including all six of my operatories, for around 32,000.
That's really good.
Right? That's what I thought.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you bought an ADEC pre-built, like just one room, that's like already
Yeah.
30,000, I feel.
Yeah. But I did very minimalistic. I have no side cabinetry. I have
Yeah.
everything just at the posterior. Um, but my company, they've done a really good job. It's very, very nice. And then the chair, you asked about the chair.
Yes.
So ADS, I had never heard of. I had Patterson wanting to fly me up to Oregon to see ADEC, and
Right.
um, just the I don't know. I don't know if this is good or bad, but the type of practitioner that I am, I've always just been able to make something work with whatever my assistant hands me. I've never been
Yeah.
super picky about something unless it's like something very clinical. And so the chair, I knew I could really save money in that aspect. So what what I did is I went and visited a bunch of local docs that I know. I went to an
Hmm.
endodontist office. I went to my boss's other office and I sat in all their different brand chairs. And then when I was considering the chair that my equipment rep, Greg with DHP, wanted me to get because he said they were really great chairs, but they were a lot less expensive. He found an office in town for me to go meet. It was a periodontist that had just done his
Mm.
own build out, and he allowed me to come in and sit in his chairs and play with them. And he was a sweetheart. And I love these chairs. They're called ADS, and they were 9 grand
What?
per system. Yes.
What? Okay, I'm on the. I'm gonna look dental chair. I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah.
That is
And
wild. That includes the delivery system,
yes.
Tony.
I'm not doing overhead lights,
Neither, I don't have
but
those either. Are you doing
yeah,
rear or side, or how are you
I'm just
doing?
doing traditional, um, where it has a tray on the doctor side and a little tray on the assistant side. No rear
I
delivery.
That is wild. So wait, you said 9,000 for the whole setup.
I I might have to look at it for you, but for sure the chair, for sure the
Okay.
chair. But
Okay.
in my brain, I'm thinking that I got that the doctor chair and the assistant chair all for 9 grand, like per off,
Okay.
but I might be
Yeah.
wrong. But yeah, compared to any other chair system that I was looking at,
Good for
which
you.
which also a big thing for us startup docs is the bottom line and the budget. And you can't have everything nice and fancy like our dreams and hearts want. And I am
Yeah.
in this fun limbo position where I took out my loan last October 2024. And the highest offerings that Bank of America could get were 750,000. I went with Provide. It's a doctor bank, and I got
Oh,
850,000 with them specifically. So I got 100 grand more.
okay.
But it's so frustrating because as soon as 2025 hit, Bank of America is signing $1 million loans over to doctors. And it's like, I need that cash flow with how much everything costs.
Oh, yeah.
But I was just behind that deadline of them getting approvals to give more. So I am on a very tight budget right now. A lot of expensive has come out of our personal account.
Sure.
And yeah, it's been super. So I'm very grateful anywhere where my equipment rep could save me money
Yeah.
on things like
Yeah.
chairs. And I had members, friends from the retreat who were like, I got these chairs, but don't do that. It's ridiculous. It's not making any difference, you know? So everyone's different.
And
Um,
you were able to sit in the chair, make sure they're
yeah,
comfortable.
super comfy. And I'm a tall girly, and so
You are
I wanted
tall,
to make
very
sure.
tall.
And we all have patients who are like 6'7", and how uncomfortable does it look when their feet are hanging off the end? So that was one of my main things, is that it was comfortable, it was wide enough, and it was long enough. And these chairs were longer than any of the other AVAC chairs that I sat in. So I don't know. They just got installed on Tuesday, so they still have like plastic wrap and stuff on them right now. But they're so silent. They're so beautiful. I honestly love them. So everyone should look up ADS.
Will you send me over any videos or photos that you have from
Yeah.
your site, even your site visit today? And I'll
Yeah,
make sure to put all of that in a place where
of
our
course.
listeners can see your progress.
Yeah, you guys, we just got to save money anywhere we can. They're just for
Yeah,
butts. Chairs are just for butts. They don't need to be
chairs are for
anything fancy.
butts. Yes, yes. I forgot to ask you about your lease. Do you mind
Mhm.
sharing what TI you got and
Yeah.
what kind of lease, like how long is your term and what is
So
your
I
monthly gonna
used
be?
CAR,
Okay.
CARR, realtors. My agent's name is Barry Levy. He was absolutely amazing.
Okay.
He was really on it with negotiating and everything. So my space, they actually, I feel so rude because I broke up someone else's contract that was supposed to get my space. I think it was like a solar panel company or something that was going to go in to where I'm currently leasing. And as soon as my realtor reached out to the landlord and they got whiff that a dentist was interested,
Oh
they were like,
yeah. Yes.
so this poor other tenant had already signed and they were just waiting for the landlord to sign. Yes, it was that kind of situation. So I hope karma doesn't come for me, or I could send this person a coffee or something. But they got with the a dentist was interested. They put that contract on hold. And I think just because that other tenant was waiting, it moved so quickly. Once we said it, we had paper signed in like a week.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Barry, my realtor, he was really great at negotiating and getting a good TI and everything. But like I said, it's 2150 square feet. I know prices everywhere are different, but I signed my lease. It comes out to like 82, like $8,200 a month is my lease for that space. And I have a TI allowance, which I haven't gotten yet. I'm waiting. I got to wait to get my certificate of occupancy and construction to be over, but I will be getting 118,000 back. Yeah.
That is awesome.
And my build out, the construction alone after like change orders and everything I've been at, which I hear is a really good price right now because I can tell a story about that. I'm at about 550,000 for
Wow,
construction.
that's
And
awesome.
like I said, I got 850 for my loan.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I had 500 allocated in my budget for construction.
Mm-hmm.
And my architect helped me send out my first bids. You know, we picked 6 contractors to send out to. And I was in tears because it takes them like a month or a few weeks, you know, to get a price point back to all these different contractors. And the lowest bid I had was $760,000. And my
Oh my
loan was
gosh.
$850,000.
No.
Yeah. And so I was in tears. Like I signed this lease. What is going to happen? I can't afford to build. Like I told you, going back to the point of, you know, it does really cost
Right.
$1 million to open a practice now. And so what happened is I call Greg my bulldog, my DHP rep, because he is a literal bulldog. I call him if I have a problem. And he was like, he just hung up on me. I told him, I was like, Greg, I don't know what to do. He's like, I'll call you right back. Hung up, called me back in 15 minutes and was like, okay, I got a hold of the owner of this construction company. I've worked with him on a project. He actually didn't reply to my first bid. He didn't, it was around Christmas time. I think he just didn't see the email. And Greg talked to him and got him to price out an affordable build out.
Oh
And
my
when you see
gosh.
my office, it's beautiful. It's not bare minimum at all. But he's the one who came on board and did it for 550.
Wow. That
Mm-hmm.
is incredible, Toni. Oh my gosh. So
I mean,
now,
without that, I would have been grounded. I wouldn't have been able to move.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, obviously that budget doesn't include the actual supplies and equipment that you need to do dentistry.
Oh, there's so
There's
much.
so
Yeah,
much. There's so much. So have you already started doing any supply ordering or like do you have a
I
master
have.
list?
So all of my large equipment just got delivered on Tuesday. So that includes my CBCT, my X-ray units, chairs, everything for the sterile area, um, you know, lab hand pieces and things like that for the wet lab. Um, and then laser and cavitrons and all of that stuff is at my office locked up. And then I've started the death of me. The thing that I've despised the most throughout this whole process has been getting my dental supply order together. It is a
Mm-hmm.
beast. You know, you have over
Yep.
like 200 things that you have to order
Yep.
and think of. And that's even before you think of, like, I need toilet paper, I need plungers, I need Windex, like just things that you would
It's
have
so
in a home.
much. Yep.
So and like I said, I am not a particular doctor, and so I used my dental assistant to help tell me everything that I like and go through. And he was amazing at, you know, I'm just like, ooh, shiny new extraction tools and surgical tools, and he's like, you don't need that. That's a want, not a need. Cut this budget. He's really great at budgeting, so he's going to be my right hand man for that. But just getting a complete list, and DHP helped me with that, kind of give me like a templated list. But all of those things, I kind of just reordered everything and my practice style. And I created a template so that it's easy for all future orders. but that literally took me months to
Yeah.
price check everything and find out what I like and what I need versus what I don't need and put a whole list together. And then what I did, um, this Instagram thing also brings you a community. So I've met so
Mhm.
many Instagram docs, and I call her my Instagram bestie. She's in Scottsdale. I reached out to her one day and we've been talking ever since. She told me to join, I never knew of like a buying group, like
Mhm.
dental supply
Mhm.
buying group. So I joined Synergy, and you can get a lot cheaper prices. Um, and what I like about Synergy is it uses a platform called Method that's been super helpful, and it's like a price checker. So I can look up, black exam gloves and pick a product, and it will show me in this little database how much it is at Patterson, how much it is at Henry Schein, how much it is at DHP. And it will show me the cheapest things, and I can pick the cheapest one, put it in my cart, and make several orders just on this one website.
Awesome.
Um, and
And
so that's been a tremendous help.
Synergy, I believe, is $99.
The
Um,
first year is, yeah. So your first year
okay.
you sign on. I don't know what it changes to, but it is $99 for me right now a month.
Okay. A month.
Um,
And then just going back, Toni, so cone bean, what
mhm.
what brand did you end up purchasing for your cone bean?
So this was a point of stress for me. You can't really try stuff out. And I went with a company called Rayscan. It's
Okay.
a Japanese brand, and I was in between them and Dexis for
Okay.
quite a while. And at the end of the day, I came down to wanting Rayscan, but I'm super nervous. I think I even posted in the making of group chat we have, like, does anyone have this brand? I've never seen it in person. Um, because you start looking at videos and what does this doctor have? What does this doctor have? And I can't find people who have it. And I think it's just because I think they've only had like an American branch for about 3 years.
Gotcha.
Um, but I really loved their technology on it. They do zero stitching of any of the images together. And I really liked the technology. I liked my rep. And so I went with them. It just got delivered with all my other stuff on Tuesday, and it's humongous. A CBCT machine is huge. When you finally see it in your space, you're like, oh my gosh. So it's a little overwhelming, but I'm super excited to learn how to use it and play with it. And I've never really been a CBCT doctor. I've never like had it at my disposal just for everyday diagnosis. So I'm super excited to just make it part of my new patient exam and see, what new things I can find and diagnose with it.
Do you place implants?
I do. I'm like an implant baby. I
Okay.
went through a course maybe 3 years ago and placed like 16 at that course. But my current practice, just the patient population, don't really say yes to implants. So I've only placed one in the last 3 years. So
Gotcha.
I want to get to that point where I'm placing implants. So, and I want to learn about sleep. So I knew that
Mm.
CBCT was a good investment for me. But I just need a little bit more coaching to feel completely confident and get that
And
up and
then
running again.
the X-ray units that you bought, what brand did you end up going with?
They're Dexis, I
Dexys?
believe. Yeah. They might be
Wait,
Rayscan. I don't know.
They have a
Oh,
handheld?
I'm sorry. The handheld, no, I don't know the name of it. I have it at my office. I thought you meant the wall mounted one. I think that's Rayscan, but I don't remember what it is. It's not the Nomad.
Vatek,
Um,
Vatek, whatever. And
I don't
then,
know. I did
okay,
this order in like April.
April. And this was all through DHP.
Correct. Yeah. But
Okay.
and then all my small equipment I did mostly through DHP, Darby, and Patterson.
Okay. Darby Patterson. And then did you end up going with electric handpieces or air?
Air.
Air.
I got NSK and
Air.
pieces.
Okay. And then are you doing any digital scanners when you open?
I am so it this past weekend was DS World. and one of those funny, fate things, like we were talking about Brian and the retreat hiatus and
Right.
everything. Something that I was super stressed about. I've never practiced without CEREC. I'm a CEREC doctor, like the idea of
Mm,
having to take an impression and send it off like stresses me out. And I knew I had to wait until the deals at DS World, which is in September. And but I was supposed to open in August. So it's one of those fate things. Like construction is 3 months behind. And now
okay.
it's brought me to this point where it's matched up perfectly because I bought my CEREC system last weekend.
Wait, you
And
already bought it.
I did.
Toni, you are just, look
Um,
at you buying
but
all the things.
I mean, I have no money, but I can sign something that says I don't have to make payments for 2 years. I'm like, okay, future Tony's problem. But no, it all just worked out because you can't open, depending on your bank, your practice loan, they're not going to want you to open secondary financing with any other loans until their loan is taken care of and closed and they feel secure that you're open and making money. So it wouldn't have worked if I opened in August. So I'm grateful that it all lined up this way because now I'm closing my practice loan here in the next week or so, and then I'll be able to open this financing for my technology that I bought.
Okay. Well, I've already decided that this first episode that we're doing, it's going to be a two-part series because there is so much that we are catching up on with the
Yeah, I know.
technology and the design and all of that because you're obviously we haven't even talked about construction and the
I
delays
know.
and
I
so
want to teach people like every step. And I've been trying to like think back in my memory, like, oh, I want to teach them that. Oh, I want to teach them that because yeah, it's scary without a blueprint,
yeah.
you know? And I've
When did
I've had, go ahead.
no, sorry, finish your thought.
Just talking about having a blueprint. I do Scott Luna consulting,
Okay.
um, which has been, it's nice. It's expensive. So I know not every, just consulting in general, actually, I feel
Right.
that Scott Luna's isn't the most expensive, but it's scary to sign on for, 40, 60 grand to have a consultant help you do this. And I know not everyone goes that route, but I just felt like I don't have mentors. I didn't have anything where I didn't feel I wouldn't be bugging someone asking all these questions. And it's been nice feeling like I can't fall on my face. Like at least I have someone monitoring me and giving
Mm,
me templates and guidance. And for me, it's been very beneficial. And it was helpful because if you are a doctor wanting to have a consultant help you build your startup, you can go to your loan provider and say, this is my consulting fee. And a bank will support you having a consultant for the business because that will help you be more successful in their eyes. And so they did up my budget, the cost of my consultant. So they offered me, I believe, 810, and then my consulting was 45,000. So they upped it 45,000. So I got 855.
and then so how often can you walk us through what um like what Scott has like what the cadence of your meetings, like how much
Mm-hmm.
is he helping to provide you guidance throughout this whole journey?
Yeah, so you have like a kickoff call with Scott, really, but then everything else is you're assigned like a junior consultant. And so I have Cecilia, she's my consultant. She's been amazing. And pretty much I don't know if she's like this with everyone, but I mean, she's my girl. We talk like whenever. And so I'm able to just text her or contact her or send her an email. And from what I've gathered, how the consulting works is you use them as much as you need them. It's not
Okay.
all hand holding, but I know she has clients and doctors that need more hand holding, and I know when she has fires to put out. So I think it's just dependent on the doctor and your style. And I just have to do everything myself. That's how I am. So a lot of it, I just kind of take charge and I use them for guidance if I have questions or I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about insurance and claims and all of that stuff. So she's there to help guide me through like the opening process and setting up a schedule and using open dental and all of that technical stuff I don't know. it's just nice because they're there as much or as little as you need them. Like she
Awesome.
would literally call and like call my sign company and schedule stuff for me if I needed her to, but I feel uncomfortable not being in control of that.
Right, right. So to clarify, you and Scott, like Scott is not your personal consultant then.
Correct. Yeah, for the startup consulting, I don't talk to him weekly. I
Gotcha.
talked to
Okay.
Cecilia weekly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know
So
he does
weekly.
because I went to his practice management course as well. And I know he has different tiers. Like if you already have an existing practice, where you do have one-on-one coaching for him, but I think that's a different setup.
Awesome. We covered so much today already, Toni. I feel like this
Did
is a
we really
good
talk for an
place.
hour?
We talked, well, we got on
True.
before we hit record. So my counter says we're at an hour and 25.
Wow.
And so I think this might be a good place to end. And then the next time that we meet, I'm gonna pick your brain about construction,
Okay.
just any issues with delays
Issues,
or
delays, construction, no way.
any surprises, change orders, the whole thing. And then we can flow from there because we are, I mean, ideally I want to get us caught up because you're opening in about a month, right?
Yes. Hopefully a little less than a month.
Okay, so then we'll tackle construction and also marketing and whatever you else you want
Mhm.
to talk about. And that way we can do a deep dive when you're like fresh and like everything is in your mind, like ready to
Okay. I
go.
don't think it's going anywhere. It's not leaving my mind, so we're good.
Okay, okay. Awesome. Well, before we hit pause then or break for this episode, what is the one thing that you are loving right now? Whether it's an app, a podcast, a book, one thing.
So I think hmm, I started because I started carrying around this little tiny notebook that has like a pen. I keep it in my
That
back
is
pocket.
so cute. It looks like
Amazon.
your logo.
Amazon. I know, that's why I got it. It comes in a little 3 pack. Okay. But I just wanted a little tiny notebook because I get so overwhelmed. Like I'll get
Mhm.
12 contacts at once, like 3 emails needing me to fill out this form or do this. And my contractor will call me and this person needs me. And I love writing it down, making a checklist so I can visualize it. I know I won't forget it because I have mom brain all the time. And I'm loving my little notebook. It's super analog. I don't care. I love it.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
analog. I have
Oh, how cute.
oh wait, we need to take a selfie of this because Colin has asked that we take some photos that we can put
We
on
didn't take any
social
photos.
with our cute little notebooks. And then after we wrap, if you could give us probably
I'll write
um
it down.
probably any content, can you share that with Colin? And then Colin will post it so everyone can see your progress. But
Yes,
also,
of
where can we find you, Miss Toni?
hold on, I'm writing it down in my book, my to-do list. So I am on Instagram and TikTok as the Joyful Dentist. And then my practice social is bloomdental.co.
I love it. And I am really excited for you and Bloom Dental Co. I already know it's going to be blooming in no time. And you're doing all the things right, Toni. Like you're setting up your brand and your vision for your practice. And I love that you have so much clarity. And
This
I
is so
mean,
surreal. So surreal. Can I just tell you one thing? So Joseph, who I've talked about, my dental assistant, I I was with him. I think I was at work when I found your new practice, and I looked at it, and I think I like audibly gasped and was like, Joseph,
uh-oh, hold on. Toni, I think you're breaking up a little bit.
look at I just
You're
had
frozen on my screen. Hold on, Toni. I really want to hear this story. Can you
seen
hear me?
an aesthetic that was so me before. Oh, there.
Wait, Toni, are you there?
What a buzzkill.
What a
I can see
buzzkill.
you. I can
Can
see you.
you
I know.
I get
Okay,
okay,
hold on.
can you tell
Reset.
that whole story again at
Okay.
yes.
So the first time I saw Smile and Co., your second location on social media, I was sitting at work. I remember seeing it. I was sitting with my dental assistant in my office, and I know I audibly gasped. I was like, "Oh, look, this is a dental office. Look at this practice." And I remember showing him, and I was just sitting there scrolling and watching all of like your, walkthrough videos. And I think it was like your construction process. And that's how I found the podcast is through your socials. And I just remember feeling like I've never seen like this much of my aesthetic in a practice, like
Oh,
the delicate, elegant feel. And it was so my style. And it gave me so much inspiration. Like, this is what I could build in a few years, you know? And I had this, like, oh my gosh, instant fangirl. And my dental assistant was like, reach out to her. I'm like, she's in Folsom, California. Like, where is that? He's like, you should reach out to her, ask her to mentor you. And I was like, I can never. That's so weird. I wasn't like an Instagram girl yet. And I didn't realize that we're all just humans who are nice and put our faces on Instagram to help other people. I know if I reached out to you, you'd have been like, yeah, girl, come. But it feels so surreal now because now you're interviewing me on your freaking podcast. It's like
yes.
full circle. How did we do this?
I love it. I love full circle moments, and I'm so glad that you found me on social, and then we connected in real life, which I mean,
Because you
real life
happen to
is
be on a Bank of America commercial? Like what? Uh,
the universe puts together people that are meant to be together, and I'm really excited to watch your story unfold. It's going to be magical and beautiful, and now it's going to be documented, and you're going to be the next inspiration for all these amazing startup docs to follow. So I can't wait.
I don't know about that, but I would love to help as many people as I can with my mistakes, with my successes. I'm an open book. Any of you guys can also reach out to me on social. You can email me if you want to put my email in the notes or something. It's
Yes,
just
yes.
ttorres,
Detour.
dmd at gmail.
Okay, Miss Toni. It was so lovely to catch up with you. And I'll have Colin get our cadence scheduled for like a weekly progress report. And
Okay.
yeah, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Making of Bloom Dental Co. If you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter, make sure to do that somewhere. Colin will let you know. Colin will let you know. And we are back, baby. We are here for you guys. We're here to create this community of amazing startup docs who are just looking to uplift, inspire, and really connect online and in real life. And stay tuned for where our next retreat will be. And without any further delay, have a wonderful weekend, Toni. And we'll see you guys next week on the next Making of Podcast. Take care, guys. Bye.